Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel fear.
Hello, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Hello, Raymond. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here, Raymond. Hey, Jen. Good to see you. Good morning, honey. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody is doing well today. Hello, mods. Hello, everybody in the bushes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Today's kind of going to be a mixed bag. Let them. Hello, let them. How are you doing, honey? I hope everybody is doing okay. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. I do. Excuse me. I am be a ladybug. Hello, hello. I think I'm down at the bottom. I don't know who's in vertical. I don't know who's where, what, when, where, who. I hadn't had enough coffee this morning. I hope everybody is doing okay. Thank you for being here. This is not going to be a long live. You're doing great today. I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody is doing good. Hey, Stephen. Hello, hello. How are you doing, honey? I hope everybody's doing great, and I hope they're staying warm and dry and all those things. Leslie, keep it real. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I hope everybody's had their Wheaties this morning. I hope you had your Wheaties. Hey, good morning, Millie. Good morning, chicken lady. Hello, hello. They got you off work today. I'm thankful you come in today. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Today is just going to be a mixed bag. I read my horoscope. I posted it, and I'm like, maybe I should stay offline today. I don't know. No Wheaties for you, Raymond. No Odies, no Wheaties, no nothing. Just kidding. 44 degrees there. Goodness gracious. It's been raining here. It's been raining. So that makes me want to have these lazy days. It does. It just makes me want to be lazy all day and watch movies. All those things. But today I just wanted to touch base on a couple of stories that we've done or left unsaid. There is some breaking news that happened last night. We'll get to that in a minute, although it is breaking. You know, everybody's covering it. We'll get to it when we get to it. Yay. You get to spend time on my channel. Yay, yay, yay. I'm glad you're off. I'm glad you're off. Hello, Susan. Thank you for being here. Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. If I've missed anybody, I'm so sorry. Just come on in, make yourself at home. Everybody's welcome. And go ahead and hit that like button. Hey, H. Davis. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Really no certain order, but I did want to, it's just the way I'm going. Hey, Linda, welcome in. Thank you. You got the flu? Oh, gosh. I hope you get to feeling better soon. Honey, this weather, though, will make anybody have the flu. I'm just saying. They got a new strain going around. Be careful with that. Seriously, though. They say it's really bad. They say it's really bad. So, yeah, that part. I just wanted to kind of first update you on Jake Haro and Rebecca Haro and Emmanuel Haro. Poor little Emmanuel has not been found yet. Jake never told where baby Emmanuel Haro was, where he put his son, his baby, his sweet little angel baby. He never told that. I mean, Jake, after all, he just brazenly walked up in the courtroom. You know, he got, got everything, admitted everything, gave up everything to the judge. Nobody expected it. He said, I'm going to plead guilty to everything I ever did. He said, I'm going to tell everything, and then y'all are not going to ask me nothing, and I'm not going to give y'all nothing. Basically, that's what he did. Basically. Don't forget, Judge, I'm guilty of peeing in my pants and throwing my underwear up in the tree, too. Let's not forget that. Because I'm guilty of everything, but you can't touch me. You can put me in jail. You can lock me up, but I'm not telling you nothing. Where's Emmanuel? Where is Emmanuel? That baby deserves to be found. if he's even findable now. He deserves to be found. But don't forget him. He's guilty of all charges prior that. He'll spend the rest of his days there, you know. But you can't ask me nothing. Don't ask me nothing. You know. Oh, these cases, boy, sometimes they really get to me. You know, let's not forget, but no baby Emmanuel. I did it. I killed him. He's gone. That's all you need to know. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe him. I believe he's a bad person. I believe all that stuff. But in my opinion, I believe there's more to this story. But no worries. He's already got the brakes beat off of him several times while he was in jail or prison or wherever in the freak he's at now. He's already got the brakes beat off of him. And I think it'll continue to happen. And I don't care. Good. Spiff up on your boxing in there. Stay in shape. You know, they get down and do their exercises. No, stay in shape. Boom, 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 boom. No, Smiley ain't saying go do no violence. I'm just saying. Just saying. I'm just saying. But he done got the brakes beat off of him a few times. Maybe it'll keep happening. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But it couldn't happen, in my opinion, to a nicer guy, to any better guy, in my opinion. But we all know, and we're all waiting, and we're all watching for Rebecca and her court date. It'll be coming up very soon. She's trying to play tough. She's still sticking to her story. I think, in my opinion, in my own opinion, she did this. This is just my opinion. I'm not a court of law. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty by a court of law, or until they go blab everything to the judge, whether it's a lie or it's not a lie, and they plead to the mercy of the court. But she's sticking to her own. We know who was boss in that house. Just saying. I think, in my opinion, she's just as responsible. However, we got to look for the court date, and it's coming real soon. The felony conference, just like Jake had. It'll be January 21st, 2026. So watch for that. Let me know if you hear anything. You know my email. SmileyStory2 at yahoo.com. I want to know anything you know. I want to know Rebecca gets the brakes beat out of her. I want to know. They throw their undies up in the tree. I want to know. I want to know. Okay? Because sometimes it takes a minute for me to know. Hey, Jude. Good morning, honey. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. But he deserves to be found. Baby Emmanuel deserves to be found. So he can actually, literally rest in peace. Now I want to talk about Sebastian just a minute. There's not a whole lot of information out there about Sebastian. But I want to talk about Sebastian. God, can anybody stop? I don't guess they can. I want to talk about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who is still missing. Still. It will be 2 years in just a little bit over a month. That's ridiculous. He was 15 when he went missing. He's 17 now. He became missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. We all know Sumner County. It's Hendersonville, not Henderson, as some people say. They piss me off with that shit. Henderson. Hendersonville. I think some of these people forget what state they're literally in. Hey, Nana, good morning to you, sweet lady. Good morning, my friend. I see you're up early and about. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm not going to listen to the bullshit. Nana, with all due respect to you, don't listen to these idiots. When they move, if they move, we gonna know it. Smiley will tell you. First, they were moving to California the last few days. Then they were moving to Arizona. I don't listen to none of this bullshit about Sebastian. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, rumors and distractions. That's all it is, from idiots who want to be relevant, who is not relevant in wiping their ass with toilet paper, in my opinion. So what I'm going to tell you about Sebastian today is I want to say Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is still missing after all this time, since February 25th, from Hendersonville, Tennessee, Sumner County. He was last seen with his mother, Katie Lynn Proudfoot, and he was last on camera with his mother, Katie Lynn Proudfoot, getting in the car. Allegedly, even she said they made it home. I don't care. I've always said that she boxed herself in, whether that was true or not, made herself the last one to see him that night inside the house alone. True or not. We know what we know, right? Right, Mr. Craddock? We don't know what we don't know, but we know what we know. We know he was reported by his stepdad. I hate to even call him that, but he was reported by his stepdad, Chris, on February 26, 2024, when Katie called Chris, that was allegedly at work almost 3 hours away. He was reported to be 5'5", 120 pounds, wearing all black, black framed glasses, no shoes, allegedly. But there's nothing, no trace of him. No trace has been confirmed. People threw out pictures and all the things. There's been tips that have been followed by his father and by the law in other states. But there's been no confirmed sightings of Sebastian anywhere. And hell, even if there has been, and he is alive out there, well, you know, these idiots are going to make sure that he comes home in a box, or he gets moved over and over again, because they just can't stop telling the lies. They have to be so greedy. Just saying. Like me, love me, hate me, I don't give a fuck. So Chris reported on the 26th, the next morning, 2024, when Katie called him, allegedly 3 hours away. I don't know what he was going to do 3 hours away. Hey, Marie. Hello. AKA Purple Freak. I haven't watched Bob Crew in a while. I I emailed him the other day for somebody and got some information to him, but I have not got a chance to watch him. No, I hadn't. I have shared and watched. I've seen little pieces here and there, Marie, because Silvers has went down, and I kind of shared a little bit, not on live, but those kind of things. You know, I guess him and Mob Crew kind of in hand with that stuff right now. But at least he is on the ground looking like some other people. Just saying. But he does, advice to him, should get in touch with Seth. I'm just saying. And we can all agree to disagree. It's fine. But he was reported missing by Chris on the 26th, you know, and I don't know why, but he was. It's how it fell out, I guess. He was reported to be 5'5", 120 pounds, wearing all black and black frame glasses, but no shoes. Like I said, all the shoes allegedly was accounted for. There's no tracing him anywhere. There hasn't been no confirmed sightings that was actually him. There has been nothing but games and a bunch of games and a bunch of games and a bunch of distraction and a bunch of idiotic talk and BS. That's what I say. But none of that matters. All that matters is he needs to be found. People need to still keep looking. These other people are all irrelevant. The fact is, it's been way too long since he has been gone. Somebody has to know something. Let me ask everybody. I don't care if you're in the bushes. I don't care if you're in here. I don't care who you are. Have you put out any flyers lately? I ain't talking about just online. Have you put out any flyers lately? Hey, Reba. Good morning to you. Have you mailed out any flyers lately? Have you posted any flyers lately? If you have, good for you. If you have not, why? Why not? I ain't worried about no rumors, Michelle. And I'll believe it when I see it. Now, is it believable that they would do that? Yeah, hell yeah, it's believable. Do I think it to be true? I think it's a bunch of bullshit. Hey, Joanne. Good morning. Linda, everybody coming in. Thank you for being here. We're talking about a mixed bag today. But if you haven't gave out no flyers, why not? All his dad's asking is for you to give out 10 in your area. Anybody could see them, right? Not everybody's online. I'm asking you to give them out. I'm asking you just to tell the truth, to keep his name and face out there. He deserves to be found. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And if you know anything, please call it in to the authorities. Give out flyers, print out flyers. There's all kinds of ways to get free flyers. And don't worry about going out of your way. If you're going out of your way or feel like you're going out of your way or it's going to cost you a nickel or a dime, then fuck, you don't even need to be here knowing nothing about it, do you? Thank you, Gypsy, for becoming a new member. Woo, thank you so much. I appreciate you. type in Sebastian Rogers and the FBI, it'll pull up all the information. It will pull up his flyer. If you don't have a printer, go to the damn library. Ask somebody, will they print them out? Call them. Ask them, hey, can you bring me these? Can you print them out? I know somebody always knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, right? I have sent out and mailed out so many flyers to people asking me for them when they were probably more capable than I was to go get them. Have y'all gave any flyers lately? Have you posted any flyers lately? I'm just asking. Go to the FBI website. Go to the TBI website. Go. But flyers, I feel that if they're in the right hands and they're seen by the right eyes, can change everything. Awareness is so important. Awareness is so important. But to me, the truth is more important. Put these flyers in a gas station, truck stops, rest areas. Some places, if they're not allowed and don't allow them to go in the damn bathroom, I have done it. Me, myself, and I. And put them in the little thing. And I don't care if somebody goes in there and cleans or throws them away. I don't ask permission. I just go do it. Yeah, I always keep tape with me too. Keep tape in your car and your tape to your window. Absolutely. Keep it in your wallet. I've told y'all when you ask somebody that they hadn't heard about Sebastian, pull out that dang flyer, right? Put it out. Go to the truck stops. Hand it to the truckers there. Look, Raymond, he drives trucks. He can tell you. Well, what are you going to do, Raymond, if somebody comes up and hands you a missing flyer? You going to turn them away? You probably ask for 2 or 3, 4 more of them. Somebody might notice him somewhere. Remember? They got to see him. Somebody might remember something. Somebody might see him, say something because they just happened to be in Tennessee that night. Anything. After that, there's gas stations and truck stops and rest areas. They're everywhere, all over the place. Someone might notice him. It might be that one flyer. Someone might remember something just like they did that 11-year-old boy. Not everybody's online. Not everybody is on the internet. But Sebastian is somewhere out there. There's got to be a break in this soon. Hope is action. And until we know where he's at or what's happened, there's always hope. We always hold on to hope. I refuse to believe any child just disappears and cannot be found. It does. I report on them. They do. But they're out there somewhere. They don't just disappear for no reason unless it's nefarious reasons, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. So I'm not going to sit here and just throw blame at somebody. Although everybody knows what I think, even people, they know. They know. but we don't have to blast it everywhere. Good morning, gracious everybody coming in. Hello, hello. So if you have anything, no matter how small it is, please call TBI 1-800-TBI-FIND. That's 1-800-824-3463. You can send them a tip at tips2TBI@tbi10.gov. You can call Sumner County. I know y'all hate them, but you can call them. They said they're still in charge. 615-451-3838. You can call FBI 1-800-CALL-FBI, or that real number is 1-800-225-5324. You can also send the FBI tips to the FBI at tips.fbi.gov. That's easy to remember. tips.fbi.gov. They're offering a $50,000 reward, and if you think you see him, don't come tell YouTube. Don't wait. Don't do any of that. Call 911 immediately. And hey, if you can bust a grape, maybe you could just say, just maybe, Sebastian, is that your name? If that ain't too hard for you. I'm just saying. I'm not coming on here to be mean this morning. I'm just saying. I get so mad. I do. I get upset when I talk about Sebastian. I get very passionate about it. But I'm going to be blunt about it. I don't care. But if y'all know anything, call it in. That'll be the last I'll say on that right now. There is no new information. People can try to piece and puzzle and all those things together. Well, they can have at it. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Mallory. Welcome in the house. In the house, in the house, in the house. Everybody. Thank you. It's the same thing with Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Summer Moon, Utah Wells. Now, it is kind of heating up a little bit on summer, a little bit. And I did that every day, day after day after day after day after day, even when there was nothing to say. I'm going to tell y'all right now, there is hope, but it'll be a miracle. But do I think she's alive? No, I don't. But do I think she needs to still be found? Yes, absolutely, I do. And I want Summer more than anything in this world to have her little grace. But it don't matter what I think. Hi, Donna. Hello, everybody coming in. But it's the same thing with Summer. I'll leave it to everybody else to talk about what they think, hashing up, rehashing, all those things. Because I'm going to spend my time doing others, even older cold cases, all the things, unless and until something is irrelevant or relevant, in my opinion. But I will say, put out her little flyers too. That is, if her daddy don't go tearing them down, don't go stomping on them, don't go, tearing them in half. People don't tear up books and fucking pictures and all these things with these children in them. Shame on you all. I don't care who you are. Drama, 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 drama. Summer Moon Utah Wells, she disappeared on June 15th, 2024 from her home on Ben Hill Road in Rogersville, Tennessee. She allegedly was last seen in that afternoon, June 15th, 2021. And they had a massive ground search for her as well as sky search with helicopters, drones, all the things, FBI, all the things. Some even speculate, well, she got ate by the animals. Well, way back then, anything's possible. Probable, hell no. I did a whole live on a long time ago before I even knew how to push a button. Why that could not be. Does it happen? Yeah. But there's no shred of her anywhere. She was last seen allegedly that afternoon on that 15th. Some think it could be before then. But there was a massive search, nothing found. They have enhanced her photos. I wish they would enhance some of Sebastian's photos. I think they probably might after February. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it has to be 2 years. I'm not 100% sure on that. Anybody can enhance them. We don't really need all that. But anyway, I'm talking about the FBI, TBI, all that stuff. But the case is still open. They are still taking tips. They proved that, wanting to go out in front of Ben Hill Road again. They're still doing all of the things. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to say it again. Sebastian's case is not cold. If you want, I can play that video again. No, I think my other phone's charging up. Anyway, if you didn't, it's in one of my lives. It's confirmed through TBI. His case is not by any means cold. Both cases are still open. Summer's is still open. Summer, she has not been found. But it's not for a lack of trying. No arrests have been made, not in relation to her being missing. We all know when her daddy got drunk and got pulled over and got in jail. We know those things. Same thing, nothing in hers but a bunch of damn games. But no arrests have been made in relation to her missing. There's no confirmation anywhere about that, or that anybody has seen her. Hell, I spoke with Miss Becky. Remember, well, we can't just, why? What are we going to arrest anybody on? Yeah. Dummy sounds so dumb. Like you worked there for how, at that time, 32, 33, 4 years, 38? Law enforcement says this case is still open with Summer. They say it's still active, and they say tips are still being accepted, and they still check into it. They say all that. Now, what they say and what they do is two different things, but that's what they say. But those are two kids right there that I want found more than anything. So if you know anything on Summer or what happened to Summer, then please say something. It will come out, in my opinion. Hold on. Excuse me. Now, Joanne, you my friend. We're going to have to agree to disagree. And I only saw the first part. You said no one is going to be ripping missing children's flyers related to these family members around here. Well, honey, maybe not where you was at. Maybe not where you're at. But it happened. Her own daddy did it. And then he went to the mall and did all kinds of shit. In case you missed that, and I'm not fussing at you. And y'all are not going to trick me into calling anybody's name, because every fucking body knows there were pages tore out of a fucking book of Summer Moon Utah well. So nobody ain't gonna do it. Oh yeah, they do it. Absolutely, they do it. They have did it. But if you know anything about Summer, contact the TBI immediately. 1-800-TBI-FIND. Continue to share her flyers too. Again, it just might jog a memory of that day. Joanne, I think the better way to put it would be, you're not going to let anybody do that around you that surrounds you. That's what I'm going to say. That's how I'm going to leave that. That's how I will leave that. But when I tell you it happened, it happened. This is why I like going back. Sometimes we forget. So let's move on. TBI, Sebastian, FBI, same with Summer. Call all the things. Joanne, are you shitting me right now? It happened. And now you're going to make me think all this time you've been coming in here, you're coming under a troll name. A fucking book was tore out by a fucking hag that has 2,700 million wrinkles on them. A creator, in fact, if they want to call their freaking self that. And yes, Don Wells did just do that at Christmas time. So if you want to say it wasn't done, we're going to agree to disagree. I love you, but we're going to agree to disagree on this one. Because that ain't, in my opinion, that is a damn fact. No, I'm not misunderstanding you. I understand what you're saying. You're saying nobody where you're at is going to do that. Because if you see it, you're not going to let it happen. I'm not mad at you. I understand what you're saying. But I'm telling you, it happened. And if it happened here, and if it happened with their own family, it's happening other places, I assure you. We just may not know. I'm not misunderstanding you. I appreciate you. I know exactly what you said. It ain't going to happen nowhere around me here either. Trust and believe that. It won't happen here around me either. Let me see it. So last night, let's move on. Last night, there was a mass shooting in Salt Lake City, Utah. That was Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. And it happened at a church. 2 people's dead, 6 people's injured. Total of 8. Some are in critical condition. I don't know if they've passed away. Some or any more has passed away since then or not. There was an update 58 minutes ago, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. I will play it here in just a minute. but it took place outside of a church, of all places, Church of Christ, Latter-day Saints Church. And they were having it was in the meeting house, and they in Salt Lake City, Utah, and they were having a funeral. So a lot of people was there, a lot of teens you saw walking out. A lot of people was there. So not only was they mourning whoever they were mourning and trying to get a funeral going, it got very scary and very intense, and this is still ongoing and it's still breaking. And they're still investigating. Now, the last I heard, and a few minutes, less than an hour ago, they did update, and they are still looking for the people or person responsible for that. That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. That happened over in Rose Park area, allegedly in the parking lot, or at least they think it had started in the parking lot there. This all happened while a lot of people were in attendance to this funeral, and they were inside that building. They had to be terrified. Later on, you saw them rolling out when they finally cleared that church, that you seen a casket and everything coming out. I guess they even want to get their loved one the heck out of Dodge. It's sad stuff like that. People do stuff like that in a church. I'm just saying. And no matter what you believe or what religion you are, it's just sad. That stuff's not supposed to happen. But it happened last night. No suspect has been taken into custody as of yet. However, they did detain some. They did detain some people. They even took a young man. I first saw that young man going, being handcuffed and put in a police car. But then they come out and gave the press conference and said, nope, nobody's been arrested because of this. People could just be acting crazy too. We don't know. But this morning it said that some people have been detained, not arrested for, which is basically, in my opinion, the same thing, but they haven't tied anybody to this. I guess that's the better way to say it. They believe it was, maybe, a specifically motivated attack. I don't know. I don't think they know yet. Y'all are right. The world has gone crazy, though. The mayor spoke. The police spoke. There were so many things going on, so many people in different directions. I mean, it was covered just everywhere for about a mile or so long. Nobody couldn't get in or out. There was apartments there. One of the apartment managers spoke. They just couldn't get in and out. They said that their homes might not even be clear to get in and out until everybody's accounted for, which could be today. FBI is assisting. They're all looking into the area. They're looking into the videos. They're looking into everything. It probably still is heavy police presence there, but there was heavy police presence there last night. It was horrible. The police asked that you call 801-799-3000 if you have any information or any anonymous tips. If you want to stay anonymous or stay confidential, you can also go online at http://cityprotect.com/sicgov.com. I don't know if y'all caught all that, but yep, that's what they said. And they said if you have an emergency or think it's an emergency, then you call 911. Call 911. So if, you're in that area, do that. Let's watch some of these videos, okay? Hold on.
There's a manhunt for at least one person who shot 8 people, killing 2 at a funeral in Utah. Happened at a Mormon church in Salt Lake City. Nick is tracking all the overnight developments for us this morning. I mean, just awful. Church should be the safest place to be.
Marky, this is a tough story that we've been following from the beginning. Good morning to you and good morning to everyone at home. That shooting happened during a memorial service late Wednesday night. Police say they do not think this was a targeted attack, adding that religion did not play a role. Police say around 7:30 local time, there was a serious dispute during that funeral, which led to someone opening fire in a parking lot. 2 adults were killed and 6 others were hurt. 3 are in critical condition, and it's not known how the other 3 are doing. The Salt Lake City Police Department confirms they are looking for at least one suspect, and they don't believe that the shooting was random. Right now, investigators are still trying to determine if there was more than one shooter. One family member says he walked out of the church to find multiple cousins on the ground.
Oh, tonight was a viewing from one of my cousins that passed away just a couple of days ago. And we should be taking him back to California for his actual laid to rest, his funeral. And tragic happened. 4 of my other cousins got shot, and they're pretty much, I think they're dead also. So, yeah, it's crazy.
This is definitely a tough one. In response, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says they're aware of the shooting and working with police and extended prayers to anyone impacted. Marky.
Hopefully those responsible get brought to justice. Nick, thanks so much. We'll check back in.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, I always forget it's muted. So yeah, full credit to News Nation on that. And they're reporting, I didn't hear that. They are reporting that some of those were their cousins laying on the ground. Some of, again, the law said last night, and we got a couple more videos short to watch on it, that they was not sure if, thank you for that, Millie. They was not sure if it's gang related or not. I don't know. It's too soon to call, but there was gang task force there. They're working with a lot of agencies, and they said they will find who did this. There was even Ring doorbell footage. They got a car on there. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but it's sad. It's all sad. So many families are torn apart. This is not the way 2026 should start out. That's not good. Let's watch something else. Oh, hold on.
This happened late covering here at this hour. Take a look at your screen. This is video coming in out of Salt Lake City, Utah, as an investigation is underway, and investigators looking for tips here after they say 2 people were killed, 6 others injured after a shooting at a church funeral. What we know so far is this happened late last night, and as of 6 a.m. this morning, no suspects have been taken into custody. We're told of the 6 who are injured, there are 3 in critical condition, adding, according to police, there's no reason to believe there is further danger to the public. Investigators speaking to the public as all of this was unfolding, and I do want to play those remarks for you now on Live Now from Fox.
We good? Yeah. Thank you all. First, I want to say condolences to the victims lost in this incident and their families and those impacted by this incident tonight. We just want to continue to provide updates. We'll probably provide one more update after this and keep you informed on what we know. What we can tell you right now, additionally, from what you already have, is that you can't hear it? Okay. is that all of the victims in this incident are of adult age. And so we know there were some questions there. The shooters are not in custody. We are following all leads. Our officers are working hard, and we will work until we bring these individuals to justice. We do have dozens of individuals that were attending the funeral that we are talking with right now to see if they are witnesses, if they saw anything. So we're working through that. We're following up on all leads. And again, we are confident we will bring these individuals to justice.
Chief, did this happen inside from folks who were attending, or did someone come into the situation and insert themselves and open fire?
That is still being investigated, but the gunfire happened outside the church.
Chief, you said shooters. Is that confirmed? It's multiple?
That is not confirmed. We're looking into it.
What do you know about?
So I don't even think that they know if it's one or two. They're trying to talk to everybody, and they're talking. They're trying to figure out what exactly is going on. That's what they're trying to figure out. Everything that's going on there. They don't know at this point. They know it was a funeral. They know that it happened at the church, and while this was going on, and 2 are dead. You can't bring them back. 2 are dead. Others are in critical condition. There was a total of 8 people shot. I mean, seriously, there's nothing worth that. Nothing.
Mackenzie, who are you talking to? Let's hear from them.
Hey, Brian. Yeah, well, first, I just want to bring your attention to this. This is the church right here, and the family has just arrived on scene. But we are going to talk to one of the neighbors who was actually living here in one of the apartments and just kind of hear his perspective on everything. So I want to ask you kind of what are you hearing from police? Because you can't get back into your apartment yet, right?
Yeah, I actually live across the street in the house. It just blocked off. What I heard so far was just a shooting, a funeral was going on, and some type of incident happened there. Not really quite sure. I'm just trying to get home. Kind of unfortunate advanced circumstances to happen, I feel like.
And is this the first time you've seen anything like this happen? Is this very unusual? Can you kind of describe what this area is normally like here?
I mean, it's mass shooting like this. I heard there's multiple people that could be possibly dead. So that's not very common at all. I mean, it's not very dangerous at all. I don't think so. I came from Las Vegas, so it's a very tame, different environment here, I would say.
Yeah, because normally, one of the neighbors we were talking to said that this area is pretty quiet. Nothing like this he's ever seen before. How long have you lived here? Is that safe to say for you as well?
I've been here since 2007, so yeah, I would say this is like the first time I would ever say something like this to an extent of this nature has ever happened here.
Okay, and then can you kind of tell me, so you're living over here, right across the street here. He's living right across the street. We want to show you where he's living. Can you pan over there for a second? Yeah. So he's living right across the street there. You can't get in. What are police saying to you when you try to get into your house? What did they say?
Not much really. There's just an active event going off. Might be a few hours before you can go in. That's about them not really saying much information right now. That's pretty much about it.
What's kind of the overall feeling that you're feeling right now with everything going on too?
I mean, I wouldn't wish this on anybody, so I feel like it's very unfortunate circumstances. I just feel like in today's day and world, I mean, I just don't wish violence or any type of shooting or murder on anybody. I just think very unfortunate situation to happen.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And Brian, we're going to send it back to you.
Mackenzie, thank you very much for continuing to talk with folks there. That's oftentimes our best way of understanding what is going on and the community reaction to it. We know you'll follow up and talk to some more folks there. But now we talked to another person on the scene who has a personal connection to this. And I want to play that soundbite for you right now. Let's roll that tape.
I was inside and then I walked outside and all my cousins were laid on the floor getting shot, got shot pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're at a funeral.
Sorry.
This is a funeral viewing, and then now it's probably going to be another couple more funerals.
So you were saying a little bit earlier that you were at a funeral for one of your other cousins. Can you kind of just walk me through what was going on here tonight?
Oh, tonight was a viewing from one of my cousins that passed away just a couple of days ago, and we should be taking him back to California for his actual laid to rest, his funeral. And tragic happened. 4 of my other cousins got shot, and they're pretty much, I think they're dead also. So yeah, it's crazy.
My goodness, your hearts go out to this family dealing with a tragedy and now having more loved ones killed, others fighting for their life in the hospital right now. Again, 8 victims total, 2 of them dead, 3 in critical condition, and another 3 being treated. We're working to understand their conditions. Let's bring back in Mackenzie Diaz there. She talked to that gentleman a few moments ago. But I do have a question for Mackenzie. What is the feeling out there right now, and what are you seeing from your vantage point?
Yeah, Brian. Well, let me just address this. We had to move our camera over to a different place, so sorry about the bumpiness there. But we are seeing dozens of family members just right outside of the gate, watching as police are just working still. It's very, very solemn. They're visibly upset. We've seen some crying and some even just sitting on the ground. It's a very, very solemn atmosphere here tonight as people are just waiting for more answers.
Yeah, I appreciate you handling this with sensitivity, Mackenzie. You know, we don't have the camera trained on those grieving family members because they deserve to have some space and some privacy as they come to terms with what happened earlier this evening. And here's where we are, folks. The latest numbers from police: 8 people shot when some kind of a fight broke out outside of a funeral. I believe the man you talked to described it more as a viewing than the proper funeral for this person. 8 people shot, 2 of them dead, 3 in critical condition, and 3 people being treated in the hospital. We're unsure what their condition is tonight. And here is this family, Mackenzie, viewing their loved one who had recently died, trying to say their goodbyes, very tender moments inside that chapel when someone opens fire in the parking lot. And now what was a tragedy has ballooned because several people have died and others are fighting for their lives. I cannot imagine, Mackenzie, what it must be like for this family.
Yeah, and I think there's a mixture of shock, as I was talking to one of the family members, and grief and just anger, frustration. They don't know anything about, the suspects or suspect. And so there's a lot of unanswered questions still. I think that the family, even we just tried to ask them some questions just now, and they're just like, we don't want to talk to the media. And rightfully so, understandably so. It's a very, very sensitive situation here tonight as we're trying to both get more answers from the family, from police, and just trying to figure out what happened. If there is a safety threat to the community still, we're still working to figure that out as well.
Yeah, Mackenzie, thank you for handling this with respect and dignity. We know that that's how you operate, and we appreciate it. We'll check back in with you in a few minutes as you work to collect some more information.
So yeah, I cannot imagine how that family's feeling right now. And then some of them went out to see more of their family members laying on the ground. So I don't know if it was random or not random. Either way, it doesn't matter. They were caught in the crossfire, and that should have never happened, especially when they were trying to have a viewing for their own family member that just passed. So whatever happened, somebody was very brazen. Was it targeted? I don't know. I don't know, but I just know that it's horrible and a horrible situation, and somebody out there still on the loose. So when we find out more about that, I will let you know. I want to go on with little John, the 4-year-old who was, he was a little boy that went missing, and he was found deceased. Jonathan Bowley, he was missing, and he was found 2 miles from his home in Jasper, Alabama on January 2nd, 2026. He was a minor, and he had been missing since New Year's Eve. I think he was not reported until the day before his mom got ready to come get him. He was with his black lab. That black lab, I'm telling you, those are smart dogs. And I get some kind of sense of relief that dog sat there with him the whole time till he was found. His name was Buck. His name is Buck. And I hope he either goes with the mom, or I hope he gets a good home. His dad's going to be in jail for a long time. Due to other unrelated things. And, the autopsy results, one thing that I want to get out, has come out, as we know, the prelim autopsy results, and they showed, don't mean they're true. There has been mistakes made, but it shows there's no assaults or no trauma to John. They're saying it was truly an accident, but it makes you wonder. But I wanted to get out here that the funeral arrangements have been said to have been made. They're going to be on January 9th. That's tomorrow at Collins Burke Funeral Home. And then there's going to be a service on January 10th at Camp McDowell there. And they are saying that family and friends are welcome to come. It's in Jonathan's honor. But they want to honor Jonathan by requesting that any donations made are made to the local fire department or the rescue teams. So they appreciate everything that they did, and, all of that. But that was a very sad case. Now, on a quickie other note, Nicole Kidman and she got her and Keith Keith Urban and Nicole got their final divorce. So it's final. There is no more. There's no love. It's gone. And if there is love, well, they just gonna have to get remarried again. I'm just saying. Today also is, guess whose birthday? Is Elvis Presley's birthday. It is Elvis Presley's birthday. Had he still been here, he would have been like 90, 91, 90, something like that. He would have been old. Maybe like some say he is out there living his life, honey. I don't know, but he would be old. He's not. Maybe who is that, Millie? Maybe he is the preacher. I don't know. I don't know. So there you go. It's his birthday, and a lot of people, I'm sure, is in Memphis right now. I'm sure they're honoring him. Nobody ever forgot Elvis. He died August 16th in 1977, and the nation went crazy, honey. I won't ever forget that. I was a little girl. I won't forget it. But not because I was a fan. I was a little girl, but because of how everybody went so cray-cray over it. I'm just saying. But many prayers to Priscilla. She's lost a lot. She had to go through her life with that status, all those things. Lisa Marie, now, lots of stuff is coming out. Yeah, Bob. It ain't Bob. It ain't Bob, honey. Is Bob 90-something years old? I don't know. Anyway, it ain't Bob. But yeah, so I want to do that. Also, I want to report on this real quick. This just blew my mind, honey. This blew my mind. We're going to watch we're not going to watch the whole thing. Law and Crime is going to be who I'm going to play. But honey, you can't make this stuff up. In the less than 24 hours, Nick Reiner's attorney quit on him. Nick, he went to his arraignment. He had a smirk on his face while appearing in court. And during his arraignment, the family spoke out. I'm not sure exactly what the family said. I did hear that the family is supporting Rob. And any money that goes to Rob, they are going to honor that. I've heard that in the past. I don't know. But not Rob. I'm sorry, Nick, the son. But Nick is accused of killing his mother and his father, Michelle and Rob Reiner. And Nick had this smirk on his face. I don't know what was so funny. But that happened. Maybe he's just trying to look more crazy and thinking he is definitely going to get a insanity deal of some sort. But of course, he's 32 years old, and he said they said he looked very awful in court. They said his eyes was something back in his head, and all those things. I'm sure he's still coming off the rugs and all that, in my opinion. And he's not probably had the proper meds, and that can do a lot to a person. It can make them look really, really bad. But his attorney come out, and his attorney quit, okay? But his attorney told the world, honey, told the whole wide world that we can all take it to the bank. We can all take it to the bank that Nick is not guilty of this. So I don't know what twilight zone today I'm in, and I don't know what twilight zone y'all are in. But in my opinion, if this attorney is 1,000,000% sure and can be 1,000,000% sure and come out and tell the public that 1,000,000% sure he is not guilty and we're all going to know it and we can take it to the bank, that very well might be true, Mr. Attorney. But one, if that's the case, then maybe he should stay his attorney, even if he does it pro bono. How about that? Because you got to have so many cases pro bono anyway. What? Well, just pro bono it. Okay, is it about the money? I don't know. And two, if he's so sure to the public that Nick did not do this, and this genius lawyer maybe he should just tell the police who did it, since he's a psychic and he's so brilliant and he's a mind reader. In my opinion, just tell the DA who did, and then get your boy out. Just saying. But that's not what he's doing. So let's watch this. This is Law and Crime credit. Alan Jackson.
And you can take this to the bank. Is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that.
Print that. honey.
Strong words after Nick Reiner appeared in court today, charged with killing his parents, film legend Rob Reiner and Nick's mom, Michelle. Law and Crime was in the courtroom, and we got our first look at Nick Reiner since his arrest last month. The bombshell development that happened in the courtroom that could change the trajectory of Nick's defense. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. A stunning twist in the Nick Reiner murder case unfolded in court today in Los Angeles, and it happened fast. The 32-year-old is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the brutal killings of his parents. Acclaimed director, just a legend in Hollywood, Rob Reiner, and his mom, photographer, producer, Michelle Singer Reiner. Both of them found dead inside their Brentwood home in Los Angeles on December 14th. Now, prosecutors say the couple suffered multiple stab wounds, and the charges come with special circumstances for multiple murders, meaning if he's convicted, Nick Reiner could face life without parole or even the death penalty. Both of those outcomes are on the table. But today's hearing wasn't about gruesome details or a plea, because before Reiner even entered a plea, his defense team cracked. High-profile attorney Alan Jackson, the guy standing beside him in those first appearances, went into the judge's chambers and then came back out and announced that he was withdrawing from the case. And just like that, Reiner was handed off to a public defender and the arraignment was delayed. This is after Reiner waived his right to be arraigned today. And then came this stunning moment. Outside court, Jackson stepped to the microphones and delivered a statement that was equal parts dramatic and deliberate, a line that immediately raises questions about where this defense is headed.
And you can take this to the bank. Is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that.
So here's the short version of how we landed in that courtroom today. Reiner was...
First of all, who was the lawyer trying to convince? Us? The judge? Other attorneys? Or his own self? I'm just asking. Just asking.
Was arrested in the hours after he allegedly stabbed both of his parents, director Rob Reiner and producer-photographer Michelle Singer Reiner, his own mom. He allegedly stabbed them multiple times inside the home they had lived in for decades in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles in December. Now, the next day, the district attorney of Los Angeles dropped the hammer. 2 counts of first-degree murder plus a special circumstance allegation for multiple murders, a charge that puts life without parole or even the death penalty on the table. Now, at this point, we don't know of a motive. There's been no motive that has been publicly stated at this point, no explanation for what prosecutors believe happened inside that house. We don't know the why. Nick also has been held without bail ever since. And in the days that followed, one thing really stood out immediately. It's his choice of lawyer, or at this point was his choice of lawyer, because Alan Jackson, a high-profile defense attorney, one of the biggest names in legal defense, appeared in court on Nick's behalf, really signaled that this case was going to be fought hard. But Nick never entered a plea. His arraignment was delayed once already, with Jackson telling the court that his client hadn't been medically cleared. Well, before we get to the big update that happened in court today, I think it's important to talk about the concerns that people reportedly had for Nick Reiner when it came to his years of addiction issues, as well as concerns about his mental health. So in the week after Nick's arrest, there have been plenty of stories about his bizarre behavior the night before Rob and Michelle Reiner were found stabbed to death inside their home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles, a mansion where they had lived for decades. The Hollywood Reporter put out a very detailed story about the holiday party at Conan O'Brien's house, the comedian, the late night talk show host, a party that had a ton of A-list celebrities there. So the Hollywood Reporter talked about Nick going up to people at Conan's holiday party, allegedly demanding to know who they were and if they were famous. Apparently, in this confrontation with Bill Hader that made the article, Nick was staring at him, and Bill Hader was politely trying to get out of this very awkward and concerning conversation that he was pulled into. It frankly sounds like it was more of a confrontation. Bill Hader tells Nick that he's just talking with somebody else, and then Nick just stares at him for a long period of time, according to this article in The Hollywood Reporter. Now, Nick has battled his demons. There's no doubt.
According to a lot of people, Nick also went up to a lot of people at that party talking about he had a famous dad. So, I don't know. I'd be very carefully looking at a motive towards money, let alone he did have, there's no doubt he has issues. There's no doubt. If you do need help, please call 988. You don't have to be suicidal to call them, but it's the easiest number to remember, 988. Put it in your phone. You can call or text them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can help you get through anything. Everything passes, y'all. Everything passes. We can't turn back time, but everything passes. Okay?
About that. And when it comes to issues of addiction, he's been open about the battles that he has fought since he was very young, at least as far back as when he was a teenager, because he went on podcasts and he talked about how he has been to rehab dozens of times, that he was even homeless in multiple states throughout his teenage years and perhaps into his early 20s. He ended up writing a movie called Being Charlie. It came out in 2016, 2015, 2016, and it was loosely based on his life. It was about a guy who struggled with heroin addiction and with being homeless. And the film was directed by one of the most high-profile directors of all time, the director behind When Harry Met Sally, the director behind A Few Good Men, his dad, Rob Reiner. Now, when you look at this movie, and it doesn't have the best reviews on IMDb, if I'm being honest, it could be seen that this film that Rob directed, after directing some of the biggest movies of all time, this was really more of an effort potentially to connect with his son, who had struggled so much, maybe more than a way for him to make another Hollywood classic.
If your kid is going through rough times, the parent your main job is to keep your child safe.
Now, that is Rob and Nick appearing together doing press for Being Charlie roughly a decade ago. This is a clip from AOL's Build series. It has since gone viral on YouTube. It's still publicly available on YouTube. And Nick and Rob, during their press appearances, would talk about doing this movie together and what it meant to their relationship. It seems like it was something really important to them that they were able to work on this together. Now, after this film came out, it didn't appear that Nick had much of a career in acting or writing or directing. But there is also reporting out there, not only about Nick's struggles with addiction, but recently Nick reportedly was diagnosed with a very serious mental health condition. TMZ reported after Rob and Michelle Reiner were found dead that Nick had been diagnosed with schizophrenia in the weeks before his parents were murdered. TMZ said that it spoke with someone who had direct knowledge of how Nick was doing in jail after he was arrested for allegedly killing his parents. The story said that Nick was in a fog because of his medical condition and the meds that he has been on. And that report said that Nick at this point was not reeling in grief.
There had to be some reason, some damn good reason why his attorney, Alan Jackson, no relation, actually withdrew from the case during what was supposed to be, by all accounts, Nick's arraignment. I don't know what happened, but he withdrew. And he said, we can take it to the bank, honey. He's not guilty. Well, why did he not stay? He was represented by him. This man was a very, we call that famous lawyer. He had a lot of well-known clients in the past, but he announced he could no longer continue to defend him. He said it was because of circumstances. Well, no shit. No shit. What circumstances? He even added that under California law, Nick is not guilty. He's not guilty of murder, and we can take that to the bank. We can take it to the bank. But he was stepping away. He's saying legal and ethical rules prevented further detail. Interesting, huh? Because of this unexpected change in the legal counsel, Nick's scheduled arraignment was postponed. It was postponed to January 23rd. I'm sorry. I said that wrong. February 23rd, 2026. The court appointed him a public defender to represent him in the meantime until he got all of his ducks in a row, or until his family paid, which they say they're going to give him part of the inheritance because that's what their mom and dad would want. So even in death, he's being enabled, in my opinion. That's just me. But when a defense attorney steps down, then, and it's sudden like this, something serious had to happen, something real big. And I wonder what it is. I wonder if we'll ever know. We probably won't ever know. Yeah, a public defender. Yeah, he might be screwed, Holly. I don't know how their public defenders work there, but honey, you screwed pretty much if you got a public defender anywhere else. And don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. If you know an attorney, if you are an attorney, don't get it twisted. These attorneys, whether they're high-powered, low-powered, or whatever, they still sit down together at lunch at the courthouse and eat together, and they talk and they discuss. They just do. But this was a shock, and it can delay all of his court proceedings. There's no telling how long this trial will go on or be before it goes on. I think the timing's kind of odd myself, but it may be issues behind the scenes. It could be financial. Again, if he's so sure and so clear, then maybe he should just do it pro bono since he's so psychic. Why would you you're a defense attorney, why would you let an innocent man sit in jail? Why would you not fight for them? Are you that poor, honey? Are you that poor? I don't think so. So it had to be something. Or maybe it could have just been a strategy. Could have been maybe it's strategy. Maybe it's how the defense is going to be prepared. Maybe he knows it's a crock of bullshit. But, he had his chance. He didn't even want that 5 minutes of unfame or fame or whatever you want to call it. So Nick remains in custody without bail, while his ex-defense attorney leaves, quits, goes away, gets cocky with the public, and then his public defender team is going to come in. He's going to have a public defender because everybody's afforded a lawyer anyway. And if you cannot afford one will be appointed to you. And of course, he's going to tell him he's in jail. How's he supposed to afford one? But now he's scheduled for late February, and this case continues to unfold. Prosecutors push forward. These are serious murder charges, serious charges. I don't give a damn what he has wrong. I don't care. So let's go. Uh-oh, hold on. Let's go.
And that was based off of what this article said was Nick's mental health state at the time. Now, after the alleged murder of his parents,
I'm just
Nick
pushing all kinds of
reportedly
buttons
went
over
to a
here, honey.
hotel in Santa Monica, which is about 4 miles from his parents' house in Brentwood. And he
I hope
allegedly
you're doing
checked into a
well.
hotel around 4 a.m,
Well as can be,
according
honey.
to media reports. And the next day, just a terrifying scene played out because the room was allegedly covered in blood. This is when the staff went in to turn the room over the next day. In another big TMZ report, though, and we'll have to watch this, police perhaps searched that room without a warrant, and that could raise questions about whether what they found in that room, whether that would be admissible in court. But I think we're a long way away from that point in this story. Now, Nick was arrested by police in LA around 9:30 in the evening, the day of when his parents' bodies were discovered.
Seth, I want to tell you, I know you know we love you and all that, but I wanted to stop and tell you, I don't mean to embarrass you or anything, but I know it was a long live yesterday, honey, but I think you might be interested in the one I did. I did that case on the Vicky and Casey White case over in Alabama. So just saying, that was a pretty interesting live yesterday, but it was long. It was long, honey. But Seth, we hope you're doing well. Many prayers to you. And I'm just telling people on here to tell the truth about Sebastian. Stop adding shit. Just tell the truth. Call 911 if they think they see him. Bust a grape and say, hey, are you Sebastian? But stop with the nonsense. You know me, I get too passionate about it. I didn't stay on it long. But I'm glad you're here. Love you. Love you.
Discovered those bodies found around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And Nick was found near the campus of the University of Southern California, more in downtown LA. He was roughly 15 miles from his parents' home. NBC Los Angeles was the first media outlet to obtain video showing Nick buying what appears to be a sports drink at a convenience store, then walking across the street where you can see police pull up and take him into custody. And Nick has been in custody ever since, and he is going to continue to be in custody even after his court appearance today, as we continue to wait for him to be arraigned, and we continue to wait for him to enter a plea to these very serious charges that he's facing, that he allegedly killed his mom and his dad. Now, whether he allegedly killed his parents because of issues of addiction, or if there's a motive that we're unaware of, or whether it was the result of a very serious mental health condition, that is something that is going to be very important to watch as this case continues to move forward through the legal system in Southern California. Now, that set the stage for today in Los Angeles. Nick Reiner was brought into court again, this time expected to be finally arraigned. But before that could happen, everything shifted. Jackson asked to speak with the judge in chambers. Then minutes later, he returned to the courtroom.
Exactly. You're right
how
about that. Don't mean shit.
I, on
That
behalf
will
of
be
Mr.
irrelevant.
Jackson Quinn, and with Mr. Reiner's understanding and consent, would ask to withdraw his counsel's record based on the conversation that we've had in chambers and the explanation we provided to the court in chambers. We feel that we have no choice at this juncture but to withdraw his counsel and has to be relieved. The public defender's office has been notified. We've had conversations with them. They're here, they're staff. They're ready to take over. My understanding is they're ready for the appointment immediately.
Good morning, Your Honor. Kimberly Green from the Public Defender's Office. That is correct.
So the court will is, and so that firm is relieved as counsel of record, and the court appoints the Public Defender's Office to represent Mr. Reiner.
Thank you.
Current counsel turn over any items that they receive.
We will absolutely comply with that. The party begun the issue has been met.
Your Honor, there is a protective order issued by the court in place regarding the handling of discovery order that's remained in place for now, and we'll serve a copy of that on the Public Defender's Office along with the discovery we provided.
Yes, the court will order that order.
Me from Mr. Bailey raises a very sage point. I'm under a protective order not to provide our discovery to anybody else. That would test providing the information only to Ms. Green in her office. Then I can be in full compliance with protective.
Anything, do people response to that request?
No problem. I believe the protective order spells out that it covers Mr. Jackson's firm as well as any successor counsel.
Thank you. So we do provide everything to the screen. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. Back on the record in People versus Nick Reiner, case number 25 CJC.
Oh my God, did you see her face? She's like, not me, please.
Office on behalf of Mr. Reiner, who is present.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Bailey, representing the people of the state of California.
Thank you.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, we'd ask to put over the arraignment one last time, February 23rd, that date.
That date is fine.
Thank you, and I will work with Ms. Green to get her discovery prior to that date.
I'll take a waiver for you. Entitled, you have a constitutional statutory right to a speedy arraignment. Your counsel, Ms. Green from the Public Defender's Office, is requesting that your arraignment be continued to February the 23rd, 2026. In this department, do you waive your right to be arraigned today so that your matter may be continued to February 23rd, 2026 for arraignment?
Yeah, I can
Discuss joint that waiver?
I do.
The court finds that the defendant has made a knowing and intelligent waiver of his right to a speedy arraignment, and that his counsel of record joins in that waiver. Matters set for arraignment in this department, February 23rd, 2026. Bail remains at no bail.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And while all of that was unfolding inside the courtroom, there were things that you wouldn't catch just by listening to the feed. Because here at Law and Crime, we had a member of our team actually there on the ground. And they tell us that Nick Reiner didn't appear surprised by what was happening. Before the hearing even started, he was actually seen chatting and laughing with deputies. His head was shaved. He had a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. He was frankly looking worn down, but not visibly shaken. His brother and sister were not in the gallery today.
Thank you,
Alan
Chicken
Jackson,
Lady,
meanwhile,
for being a member
he
for
was
10
pacing,
months. Woo,
crossing his
woo,
arms.
woo.
He was on his phone. He clearly tense
Love
from
you, ma'am.
what our person in the courtroom could see. Now, even before he asked to speak with the judge, he just seemed to be very tense in this moment. Now, once the hearing wrapped, Jackson did not leave quietly. He walked straight out of the courtroom, past the cameras, and stepped up to the microphones. And that's where this case took yet another turn. Once outside the courthouse, Alan Jackson, he didn't dodge cameras. He stepped up right to the microphones. And before anyone could even ask a question, he made one thing clear. This wasn't a strategic exit, he says. It wasn't something that he wanted.
I had to withdraw as Nick Reiner's counsel. Circumstances beyond our control, but more importantly, circumstances beyond Nick's control have dictated that, sadly, it's made it impossible for us to continue our representation of Nick.
Sounds like money to me, honey.
I'm legally and I'm ethically prohibited from explaining all the reasons why. I know that's a question on everybody's mind. We expect the public defender to step in. They've already been appointed and very capably protect Nick Reiner's interests as he moves forward through the system. But be clear, be very, very clear about this. My team and I remain deeply, deeply committed to Nick Reiner and to his best interests. In fact, we know, we're not just convinced, we know that the legal process will reveal the true facts of the circumstances surrounding this case, Nick's case. You know, a lot's been printed of late over the last 3 weeks. A lot has been printed about Nick, printed about his family, printed about the circumstances. Speculation is in print. On December 15th, in the early morning hours, I was in New York at the time, and I got a call. Me and my team, we dropped everything. And for the last 3 weeks, we have devoted literally every waking hour to protecting Nick and his interests. We've investigated this matter top to bottom, back to front. What we've learned and you can take this to the bank, is that pursuant to the laws of this state, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. Print that. Print that.
I want you to think about that line real quick. Quote,
well, we'll see. But like I said, if he's that confident and he's psychic, maybe he better tell somebody. And I wouldn't have just walked away and left my client in jail. I'm just saying, very, very cocky.
not guilty of murder. Jackson did not say Nick Reiner didn't kill his parents. He didn't say Nick Reiner is innocent. He said, pursuant to the law in California, Nick Reiner is not guilty of murder. And that distinction matters. Under California law, a person can commit an act, even a deadly one, and still not be legally guilty of murder if prosecutors can't prove the required mental state, intent, malice, or capacity. Now, that can open the door to defenses involving insanity, mental incapacity, or a lack of criminal intent, though it is important to say that Jackson did not specify which, if any, of those defenses might apply here. What he did say is that his team investigated this case, quote, top to bottom, and walked away believing that the law itself changes how this case should be viewed. Now, the Los Angeles County District Attorney, he stepped right up to the podium himself, and he made it clear that the DA's office is not backing down.
In our criminal justice system, every defendant is entitled to a lawyer who will zealously represent their interests and do so effectively. So too is Nick Reiner, whether it's Ellen Jackson, someone from the public defender's office, or any lawyer. He's entitled to that lawyer, and we'll make sure he gets that lawyer. Second point, in the process of dealing with that lawyer, we will make sure, the DA's office will make sure that that lawyer is provided with full discovery of all the facts that pertain to this particular situation, whether it's interviews, whether it's any type of video, whether it's any type of expert reports. We'll make sure that that lawyer gets the facts necessary to effectively represent their client in a court of law. And third point, we are fully confident that a jury will convict Nick Reiner beyond a reasonable doubt of the brutal murders of his parents, Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner, and do so unanimously. Thank you very much.
So that is where things now stand. Nick Reiner remains in custody, held without.
All right, that's enough of that. We know he's in custody without bail. What's important is that his attorney quit. He just quit. He just quit. He didn't sound too happy about quitting. I think a lot of it may be due to money. I don't know. Maybe the inheritance ain't going to go exactly like everybody thought after everybody had time to calm down. I don't know. I just think it's weird. But I guess he'll be on the sidelines. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't know what twilight zone I'm in. I just know this happened and there's no excuse for it, in my opinion. And that's just me. Now, there's nothing wrong with mental illness. There's nothing wrong with all that. Get your help, all the things. And some people really are. But, drug induced, all this stuff, we'll see. We'll see what a jury of his peers have to say. At that point, it's not going to matter. Hey, Deanna. Hello. But just to recap real quick, I just want to recap on Sebastian and Summer, both of those. There's not really any news there. Keep putting their flyers out, especially Sebastian. Summer's too, because it can it can jog a memory. Both of those under TBI, that's easy to remember. the 1-800-TBI find. I want both of them found more than anything. In Sebastian's case, definitely I asked you a question and I meant the question. Have you put out flyers lately? And if not, why not? Why not? So continue with that. Continue with all the things. We talked about little John, bless his little heart. The prelim autopsy come back and said there was no trauma or anything to his body. They found him a little bit in the water and a little bit out. Who knows, but the dog could have tried to drag him out a little bit. I think that dog is a hero, and I hope his mom can, take that dog. I don't know, it may be too hard for her. I just hope he gets a good home. I know it's an animal, but I hope he did a good thing. He did not leave John alone at all, ever, at all. Sit right there with him. He was a good boy. And Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman, they gone. Their divorce is final, honey. If they want to get that love going in February and love in the air, then they going to have to remarry because they just got their divorce. And today is Elvis's birthday. Elvis Presley, that is. And he would be 90-something years old. And no, he is not Bob. Not in my opinion, honey. I'm just saying, not in my opinion. I got my own opinions. But anyway, we just kind of went over all that today. I appreciate everybody coming in. I'm so glad Seth stopped in. Y'all continue your prayers for Seth, for Sebastian. I mean, it's coming up on 2 years. This is very upsetting. All these cases are very upsetting. In fact, I got one that I want to talk about. I don't know. I'm not going to promise I'll go live tonight. I think Smiley needs a nap for real. But it's a horrible case. It's horrible. And there's just no sense in what all is going on in this world. These kids mean everything. They are precious. They are gifts from God. And, if you got kids, if you got grandkids, always take care of them. Always. I heard some of these creators are doing yet another fundraiser for Sebastian. Instead of that, they should be nice. Thank you. Yeah. So I don't know who, I don't know what, I don't care. So, I don't know if it's going in their pockets. I don't know if it's being split. I don't really care. Do you, honey? Do you, boo? The only billboard I ever saw when I was going to Tennessee to Sebastian's last vigil, and I told my husband, we got to pull over right here, right now. Down the street from me by the railroad tracks was Sebastian's flashing sign. And it wasn't by the person y'all found out. It was later by Crimson. And I said, I don't care who put it up. I'm just glad it's up. But these fundraisers, all this stuff, you know what? Help donate to his reward. Help make these flyers. That's what some people's good at. And get them out. Just go pass out the flyers, okay? Just do things. I don't give a damn about these people that says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. How about letting his dad do what his dad wants to do? How about that? Even his mom. See, y'all make me get in a position where I have to take up for them too. How about that? How about let his parents deal with those things? How about doing something helpful for a change? Right. And Holly, I don't know who you're talking about. And Joanne, I didn't mean to get loud with you later. I know what you meant, but boy, you don't know how in the hell it burnt me up when they tore Summer's you don't understand. Okay? But I know yes, ma'am, I know exactly what you meant. Same here. I wouldn't let them do that here. If I saw it, I'd be like, what? I'll be going to jail. What the hell are you doing? Oh, no, stop. You know, all those things. Just tell the truth. You don't have to be greedy. You don't have to, whatever. Come on, off, be first, be middle, be whatever. Just tell the truth. If there's truth to be out there, it'll be out there. If Chris and Katie moved, and we'll know when they move. We'll know if they're going to Arizona one day, or we'll know if they're going to California one day, or we'll know if they're moving next door to me one day, okay? We'll know if they go to Texas, maybe North Carolina with some of their buddies. We'll know. But as far as I know, that's not true. And besides this, how long has it been? How long? It's been almost 2 years since Sebastian's been gone. How long have they been saying Katie and Chris has had the house for sale under the radar? Sometimes you got to use a little common sense. Common sense is not very common anymore. Just saying. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to get off of here. I thank you for coming in. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Keep up. And this mom, John's mom, John's family, they're fixing to go through this funeral. And they said, if you donate anything, see, they do the right thing. Okay? They're going through a tragedy. Somebody, I guess, fixed them a GoFundMe. They stopped all that. They said, no. What they want and what they're publicly asking for, and I put it out. I think I put it, anyway, I put it out. But what they're asking for is, if you want to make donations, donate to the fire, EMS, or any rescue there. How about that? How about doing some things like that? Just asking. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I don't know. Maybe I'll see y'all tonight. I get bored sometimes, or I see something else. I'll probably be posting here and there. Who knows? I'm going to play y'all out this song. Okay? Let's play it out. Let's play it out.
She was born and bred in Nashville, but she walks the beaches down in Florida sand. A mother and wife, a daughter, a sister, trying hard to do the best she can. She found her voice with a heavy heart, looking for purpose with trembling hands. Giving this all a new start, moving ahead, speaking for ones who came. She says, I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones unheard, 'cause she's got a caring heart that won't be turned. Her mama fought cancer while she was searching, stories that needed a gentle voice. We saw summer's name and felt the heart weak and tried to bring light where there was no choice. And when she heard of Sebastian, her sadness rose. She prays for truth through the noise. She'll follow wherever the story goes, seeking their dignity, a child's joy. She says, I am who I am, I'll stand my ground. Even when the nights get long and rough, you'll hear my sound. She'll be speaking for the ones unheard, 'cause she's got a herself. She'll be speaking for the ones unheard. She's got a caring heart that won't be turned.
Thank you, sweetheart. Let them. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. You hear Happy snoring? Y'all have a good day. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Bye.